On the shores of the Rio de la Plata, sandwiched between the urban centers of Montevideo and Buenos Aires, sits one of the most irresistibly picturesque towns in all of South America. Colonia del Sacramento in Uruguay is a hotspot destination for thousands of Argentine visitors, and we just had to check it out. Getting to Colonia del Sacramento from Buenos Aires meant boarding the Buque bus, a ferry that makes the 50-kilometer journey across the Rio de la Plata. The ferry has all the amenities you might need for a short trip, including cafeterias, shops, an arcade, and a currency exchange. Once we docked, it was a 1-mile stroll along the scenic shoreline to reach the walls of the Barrio Historico. Walking through the city gate, built in 1745, into the old town was like stepping through a portal in time. The boys immediately made a beeline towards the cannons lining the fortified walls. They did their best to repel the invading pirate fleets that would target the city in the days of old. We continued on to one of the most beautiful streets I've ever seen, the short but amazing Calais De Los Suspiros, or Street of Sighs. Surviving nearly unchanged for centuries, the painted mud and clay facades and low-ceiling buildings of the street had it living up to its name. We passed the Plaza de Armas, walking among the remains of some Portuguese-era buildings, to the oldest church in Uruguay, Iglesia Matriz. Originally built in 1680 and then rebuilt twice under Spanish rule, this beautiful and historic church is the centerpiece of the plaza. Nearby sits the Faro Lighthouse in the Convento de San Francisco. For a small fee, you can climb up the lighthouse to take in the beautiful views of the city. Unfortunately, children under 8 years old aren't allowed, so the boys had to skip this one. While we were in Colonia del Sacramento, we couldn't miss a stroll along the waterfront to watch the local fishers catching their meals for the night. As amazing as our time in this historic town was, the hour came for us to catch the last ferry back to Buenos Aires. So with a sigh, we strolled back along the shore as the sun began to set.